Well, everybody, we are one day away from the last month of 2023. And just like February, where the good old groundhog tells us all how fast winter is going to pass and spring is going to arrive, today on the Launching Life's Journeys podcast, we have the prognosticator of all prognosticators in the world of the RV industry, Mr. Dave Kelly, Executive Director of the Florida RV Trade Association. Welcome to the Launching Life's Journeys podcast.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate being here.
So, Dave, as we talked offline, it is completely unfair to put all the pressure of the entire industry on your shoulders and your teams, but you guys have already been used to it and you do it every single year. So for everybody listening, everybody viewing, here's what people need to realize. For us on the OEM side, we are one of many manufacturers. The Tampa SuperShow for us is the ultimate litmus test of what we're going to see for retail business for really the start of 2024. And our most important selling season really starts because you guys don't have 4 feet of snow like we do here in Elkhart, Indiana. So the year really starts fast for us, and just really want to commend your leadership and your team, because over the last 3 years I've been in this industry, I have been blown away with my experience at your guys' show and what you guys do to represent Florida each and every year.
Well, I appreciate that, Will, and this will be, it's amazing to even think about the 39th year of the show. And I don't know whether the show is successful for everyone or whether the entire industry just loves spending January down in Florida. But for whatever reason, we love the support. We appreciate it. And like you said, it's a staff. It's my staff makes me look awfully good, and with the hard work they do, we take nothing for granted. Just because it's the 39th year doesn't mean that we, just assume things are going to happen. We spend time and make sure things are done right, and I think that reflects in the show from the exhibitor standpoint and from the customer standpoint as well.
Yeah, and we're going to peel that onion and just really talk about the significance of everything that goes into the show and how it benefits not really just retail customers or the opportunity for us to showcase as an OEM, but you guys do a lot too for education and even on the aftermarket supply side. Before we get into it, I really, I didn't ask you when you and I had some conversation over the last few months, looking at last year, and over the 39 years, what did you guys do, attendance wise last year? Do you kind of know ballpark where you guys were at? I mean, it's pretty remarkable what you guys draw.
Yeah, we did. Our best year was 22. We had over 80,000 people, which we've never come anywhere near that. Last year was just over 70. So we're back into where we've been typically in the past. So it's, like we talked before, you get a 2-day ticket. So you come back to the show and it's almost impossible, Will, to see everything in one day. As you know, it's huge. I mean, and you try to express to people, please wear your walking shoes. If you need, help getting around, you may want to, rent a scooter or a wheelchair or whatever, because it's a big event and it's hard to see it all in one day.
Well, and I tell everybody when they walk by our booth, I say, whether you like ours or not, I said, just take your time. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And I just want to remind everybody too. So, as I said in the intro, we're one day away from December. You can never plan too early. 48 days away is where we are at. January 17th through the 21st, $15 a ticket per adult. That gives you a 2-day pass, which again is a great price considering everything that you guys provide to everybody. I mean, I've seen families where, the kids are having more fun than, some of the parents or the 4th generation RV owners. I mean, and we're seeing that transition too, right? Which I think is timely to this transition of my next point. Every year you've worked really hard with your team to, look at data, just listen to the voice of the customer and what retail customer folks are saying in the fine state of Florida. And you guys always try to have a theme. And I think it's fitting that in 39 years, your new theme is all about rock on down the highway. So can you kind of talk about what that theme means and how that represents kind of, what you guys are looking to deliver this year?
Well, it's funny because we've seen, and this will be, it's hard for me to believe, my 37th Super Show with the association. And it's amazing when you see how much younger the audience is getting. And I mean, this used to be, gray hair retirees, coming out to see how they're going to, spend their golden years. But it's, I think it's because we've had so many generations now that have grown up with a father or grandfather or grandparents that had RVs, and these experiences that these people had as kids, they're now wanting to relive with their families and their children, and like traveling like that. Of course, COVID, did us a tremendous favor that people were hesitant to get on an airplane, on a cruise ship. They want to sleep in their own beds. They want their own pillows, blankets. They want to cook their own foods, and RVs just fit that bill to a T. And so we had a huge turnout in 21 and 22. And 23 was just as, not as strong, but I mean, just as much interest in RVing. And you had mentioned, that it's a Florida show, but it's really a picture of the entire East Coast of the country, because so many of the people that come to the show every year, they don't live here. They're spending the winter here. So we're not just getting a gauge on the pulse of Florida, the state of Florida, but we're also getting kind of the pulse of the eastern part of the United States.
Yeah, and I don't want to misspeak or not do enough research, but I do believe that Florida is home to a large majority of the largest dealership groups in North America. So that's where I say, the show represents so much, and it's so powerful on what it really does for us as an OEM, as we're constantly trying to listen to that VOC, voice of the customer, and you kind of hit on it too. In addition to what COVID did, it's more, to me, what we've seen is what these employers around the country have done. Never before, I can tell you, when you mentioned grandparents, my grandfather never would have imagined, I don't even think he would have wanted to work remote and be at home all day with, my dad when he was a young child and all that. But, we've seen this huge swing. And I think that, yes, COVID accelerated that, but that's why you're seeing a lot of innovation from our standpoint of listening to the customer saying, hey, we don't want something that has 2 bedrooms anymore. We want, a bedroom on that front deck, and in the rear, we want an office, because we're not only working remote, our kids are doing their schoolwork remote. So that whole dynamic has really changed. And it's really just great to see that you guys being a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to the buying experience and providing so much support to these dealers nationally, and in your own home state of Florida. It's just like I said, it's a culmination of, there's so many things that you see. And if you start to peel the onion when you get to Tampa, you realize how much this show matters, not just for retailers looking, retail customers looking for their next new great coach, but, for the entire industry. So needless to say, I'm extremely excited to be down here in 48 days. And I just want to hit on again. So rock on down the highway. The theme is all about that. The younger generation that is embracing life on the road, as you kind of outlined. You're going to see that matched by OEMs, suppliers too. So I want to remove some misconceptions. Number one, as you said, in 37 years, you always want to do a tip of the hat to, senior discounts as well as the military. You guys respect and honor both. So there are discounts available. So again, if you want a great low-cost point of entry for a great experience, you need to get down here to the show. Want to talk a little bit about what the show does offer. So let's go to 30,000 feet, right? Of course, you're going to have every OEM there from beautiful Elkhart, Indiana. We're going to take off the puffer jackets. You might see a couple Hawaiian shirts, me included. The mustache, I assure you, will be gone. But what else do, some of the retail customers get to experience, Dave? When you kind of hit on, suppliers and education, what are the things that you guys do?
Well, it's a manufacturer show, and I want the public to understand that it's the manufacturers buy the space, and then they appoint dealers to work their displays. So anything that Thor or Forest River or some of these manufacturers produce, it's going to be on the grounds. And as you know, Will, there's so many different products. There's so many different floor plans. There's so many different designs, from trailers to vans to motorhomes to you name it. it's hard to shop this without being able to see everything in one place. And that's why we've tried to make sure that we have space for just about every manufacturer, so that someone that's in the market can come to the show and say, okay, I saw the Airstreams or Jaycos, or I saw, the different products that are out there, and I was able to compare them side by side and then make a decision. So for the consumer, it's just it couldn't be any better having the manufacturers bring just about every single product that's in the industry out into one location.
Especially, I tell a lot of consumers, if you want to go to a show where you can talk directly to the OEMs and learn the company's history, learn their story, learn what you're getting beyond that fiberglass front cap and a new interior decor. Really, what are those values? Because, each OEM has their niches as well. And it's a great opportunity for people, no disrespect to the dealers, but it's the dealer's job to provide a great buying experience to consumers. It is our obligation and responsibility and opportunity to give them great ownership experience. So this is that chance for consumers. People that come to the show, though, some of them, many of them, as we're seeing with this younger generation, Dave, they're younger. They don't know everything. So what resources do you have available during that week where they can get educated?
Well, and again, shows like this and the other shows we do and other state associations do, they're very low pressure.
Yeah.
You may be a little hesitant walking onto a dealership's lot and saying, "Look, I'm Dave. I don't know anything about this. Kind of walk me through it." People
Yeah.
are a little hesitant to do that because I think by the time you get to the dealership, you're kind of in the buying mode. So shows like this are great to come on out. If you're just getting started, there's no better way to see what's available and then fit it into what you're going to be doing. Are you going to do your
Yeah.
kids' sporting events? Are you going to be traveling the country? Is it weekends? Are you just doing short trips around the state? It really, shows like this are just great places to get information. And to that end, we have 5 days full of seminars, each one starting on the hour.
Yeah.
Where to go, what's with lithium batteries, what's going
Yeah.
on with solar power, what's how do we get off the grid,
Yeah.
um, what about these caravan companies that do group travels and things like that. So there's, I mean, as you know, there's a million different questions when you're getting started. And like I said, shows like this are just a great place in a very relaxed setting to get your questions answered and to see the different products that are out there. And as you said, talk to the manufacturers. They're there. The reps are there. In a lot of cases, the CEOs, CFOs come down for the show. So it's just a
Yeah,
great.
and what I have found too that I just think is so remarkable, and you kind of hit on it. Maybe it's like I said, it was never said to me, but in my experience in 3 years, each year I've gone, I come back saying it just feels that it's more uh, informational than transactional. I love that, how much you and the team work to support vendors. So if you're going there, I mean, after you buy one of these RVs, the next answer you got to find is, well, where the heck are we going to take this thing? And I've been, it was great for me, especially last year. I got to hang out with a living legend with Mr. Bob Zagami, who I know well, and he's kind of adopted me as another son, which I'm so grateful for. And he had me by my wrist, and he had his big New Balance shoes on, and my feet were tired, but he introduced me to so many campgrounds that are there, so you can learn not just about the OEMs. You can learn about the lifestyle. You can learn from suppliers about their specific parts, because who, again, better to explain these aftermarket products than the actual manufacturers that are there representing and answering those questions. But you also get to learn about the lifestyle. You've got campgrounds there, you've got accessory items there, things in addition to specific items to just an RV, but everything is there for you to learn and kind of map out, like, hey, is this something that we want to embrace for our family? So again, I really do want to thank you. I know that you're busy. We're 48 days away and a lot of moving parts are starting to happen. I will say too, and maybe you can just kind of echo this. I don't know, and again, in 37 years, I don't know that you've shut the doors or people couldn't get tickets, but I feel that they can always get tickets, but they do need to be proactive in scheduling, making hotel arrangements. Um, if people are bringing their RVs there, I know that you guys do a great job of offering, setups for them to camp. Is that already full? Is there still some opportunity? And then who would maybe consumers need to contact if they plan on camping on the grounds? And if that's no longer an option because you're sold out, then you guys better get on the phone with the hotel.
Yeah, I mean, like as you said, it's because this is the 39th year. People have been so used to coming down and making their arrangements ahead of time. The Florida State Fairgrounds, right outside of Tampa, is where the show's held. So they do offer some dry camping. I'm not sure where that is at this point. So they would have to contact the Florida State Fairgrounds. Our rally sold out within an hour. I mean, it's just incredible what's as far as the people that have come year after year know to sign up and get in early. But there's a lot of campgrounds in Florida that, of course, there a lot of them are full this time of year, but they usually have a couple of sites to accommodate people. So but like you said, if you're planning on coming, if not this year, for next year, get your plans in place earlier, because it does go fast.
Well, perfect. Well, listen, I'm going to let you get back to work with the team because, like I said, you guys are in the whole shot now, and there's going to be a lot of things happening. And we just, like I said, on behalf of Heartland RV, Cruiser RV, DRV Suites, we are, thrilled. The job that you and the team do it is top shelf. And I think that's why, obviously, you've been retained for 37 years. You must be doing something right. And just, again, to just, let everybody know, if you got a chance to go to this one of 7 shows that are put on throughout the year in the state of Florida on behalf of the Florida RV Trade Association. My number one pick, of course, is this show, the 2024 Florida RV Super Show. It's going to be, again, Wednesday, January 17th, Saturday through January the 20th, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Sunday 9 to 5. Florida State Fairgrounds, adults $15 a person, 2-day pass, children under 16, you are free. And again, tipping the hat to the military and senior, get your discounts, contact the Florida RV Trade Association. And to learn more, what is your website for people to learn more about your great organization?
Very simple. It's FRVTA.org, which stands for the Florida RV Trade Association, FRVTA.org. You can links to buying tickets online. I highly recommend it. You avoid the lines. You walk right into the show when you get there. Come early. It's a long day. It's a busy day. It's a lot of fun. We have the roving entertainment because it's a fun industry, and we want people dancing to the steel drums at the entrances, and then interacting with the clowns and jugglers and things that we have going on. So just plan on getting there early.
Awesome. Well, we love you, Dave. We love your team, and we look forward to rocking on down the highway with you guys and everybody that's going to be at this year's show. So again, guys, 48 days away. Get to the FRVTA.org for more information. Dave Kelly, Executive Director, thank you so much for your 37 years committed to this amazing organization. And we look forward to shaking your hand and seeing you here in just 48 days.
Thank you, Will. I appreciate it.
I'm Will Miller, and I want to thank you for tuning in to the Launching Life's Journeys podcast, brought to you by Heartland RVs. Stay tuned for our next destination.